potentially the Labor government has a solution to the housing crisis, at least according to one Indian government minister. It's been revealed, I guess, that they're apparently in deep negotiations to bring over hundreds of thousands of Indian migrants to build up to 1 million houses here in Australia. This is the Indian minister talking about it.
Just do the math on 1 million homes and you'll realize the mind-boggling opportunity. You could have hundreds of thousands of Indian labor go to Australia, lakhs of people who can go there, help to construct good quality modern buildings.
So high immigration has caused the housing crisis, which has led to a shortage of homes. Now, the government's idea is to bring in more migrants to build houses for the migrants that they already brought in. And apparently they're going to go to the UAE to try and finance the project. What kind of logic is going on here? Why don't they just try cutting immigration, put a freeze on migration? That'll solve your housing crisis pretty quickly.
Yeah, so that's India's Commerce Minister talking about sending, as you said, hundreds of thousands of Indians here. That comes right after a Redbridge poll that we talked about on this program that found 85% of first-generation Indians in this country voted Labor at the last election. So you put those two things together, we need a lot of homes, bring a whole lot of Indians to Australia, train them up in construction, get them to build those homes. How many of them would stay? I'm not sure, but certainly enough to vote Labor at the next election. It's all rather convenient, isn't it?
And this is exactly the Ponzi scheme I'm talking about, is that you say, OK, we will bring migrants into this country and then necessarily that means we have to create services and homes and schools and roads and whatever for them. Oh, so we need someone to do those jobs. We'll bring in some more migrants to do that job. And on the circus goes. It is literally economic growth for economic growth's sake. And it is to the detriment of all of us. Because if someone is born in this country, and let's say they start working at 14, 15 years old, as many people, probably less so these days, but if you start working as a teenager and you start paying taxes, over your lifetime, you contribute into the pot from which you then take when you do Medicare and pension later in life and all these other sorts of things. You bring a migrant into this country, they've never contributed to that pot before, but they will have all the same needs, healthcare, aged care, whatever, when they reach the end of their life. So they've actually been less productive and less useful to this country than someone who was born here in terms of taxpayer dollars, but they will take out exactly the same as what everyone else will at the end of their life. And the dirty little secret of the fact that, the majority of the country doesn't want this mass migration is that, as you say, 30% of people in this country were born in another country, and far more than that have parents who were born in another country, and they're included in the people who think that we need to lower migration in this country because they realise, even after they've arrived, that, hang on, you do have to put the brakes on at some point, which totally blows up the argument that it's got anything to do with race. It has nothing to do with race. It's people in this country saying, hang on, we need to preserve the way of life we have.
And of course, another one of the complaints from the weekend with all of those marches was that Australia is being changed without our consent.